welcome to episode 8 of Raise the Bar. We're joined here by Rachel Rohrabacher. You won the gold. Take a private jet with your team and your friends.
I'd like to think we still would have taken the private jet even if I lost.
It was very exciting. It was very fun.
Yeah, you've only been around the game for like 18 months, so you wouldn't have had that experience of watching
Yeah.
pickle on court level, but it was funny to hear you be like, oh yeah, it was refreshingly exciting and different now that you've beaten them in such a kind of clean cut way. How do you expect them to potentially respond? Like, what adjustments do you think AL and CP may make?
We play each other so much, I expect it fully to go back and forth for the rest of
We're going to end on true false. Someday you will play with a popular paddle.
I hope so.
You've been on more podcasts than you have PPA medals.
False.
She says false. So sub 11. Good luck to you guys with your New York shopping adventures. And thank you for coming on. How do you mentally prepare for tournament play?
Trying to focus on what I'm trying to do on court. The more we play tournaments, the more we will also feel more comfortable out there. There's not one thing I can just say, hey, this is going to fix your problem.
If I had to give him
what would you say, Ryan?
Preparing in a way that makes you feel like you've left no stone unturned. I'm warmed up. I've done everything I can do, and we'll see how the game goes. Okay, everybody, welcome to episode 8 of Raise the Bar. We are joined here by Rachel Rohrabacher in Dekel Bar. They're live from New York City. And Rachel, I mean, amazing day, amazing week. You won the gold at the Atlanta Slam on a beautiful championship court venue. You take a private jet with your team and your friends up to New York. Now you have a beautiful week of weather for MLP NYC. Like, are you high on life right now?
Yeah, feeling very grateful. I mean, I'd like to think we still would have taken the private jet even if I lost, but we're gonna pretend pretend I won for the PJ. No, it was a great week, and kind of to start the week, Anna and I just said, let's just have fun this tournament. We feel like we've been putting a lot of pressure on ourselves to do well, and we've only been playing together since January, and I've really only been playing roughly for a year. So I think this tournament
it's impressive. Yeah. No, it's impressive. It's so impressive.
But it's easy to put pressure on yourself.
Dekel's only played for a year and a half. And he's climbed the ranks to 164.
I'm close to 2 years since 2022.
Okay, let's not distract. You've been playing for a year, but you wanted to bring a lot more fun, or kind of maybe bring that back into the game. How do you and Anna do that? Besides saying we should have fun, because a lot of players say that, and it seems to be a working mechanism, especially with a lot of pressure in the tour grind. But how did you actually do that? Is it laughing after you make a dumb mistake, or is it kind of on the bench, a different attitude or a different kind of vibe? How do you guys have fun?
Yeah, it is easy to say just have fun, but just voicing why we're saying that too. Again, we were putting so much pressure on ourselves, because now we have this expectation. Also having the 2 seed by the name, it's and everyone who plays us, I feel has no pressure playing against us. So it's easy to play your best when you have no pressure. So I think just voicing it out loud and discussing it with each other instead of just saying it in passing, having it be an actual conversation is important. And then for us, it does mean, because we are so intense on the court, it does mean smiling after something stupid or getting past. But I don't know, just really hyping each other up. And I think almost every match where, Anna had played great in every match, but I was just you're playing so good. Let's go. Yeah. And just saying stuff like that and keeping it lighthearted while also keeping the intensity. It's a gentle balance.
Yeah, that's cool.
I remember, and I went for this Ernie on game point and just kind of laughed about it after how she doesn't do that, and just just a fun moment, even though it was after a super, super intense point.
Yeah, that's cool. And do you think that pressure? We'll get to the actual game or the match that happened yesterday, but do you think that pressure was self-applied and kind of ramped up since that March victory when you guys took them down, or is it more just the idea that you haven't gotten a gold and beat them, where does that come from?
Just not really pressure against them, to be honest. I think it's more pressure, the expectation, really, ALW and Catherine set this precedent as the best team in the world, and they kind of go undefeated for the most part. So it's that expectation of, if we're going to be the second best team, only losing to them. And it's just the second seed, and they've set the precedent. And it could be like, for me, it's a little self as well. Like I'm definitely a perfectionist. So yeah, I think we put it on ourselves more than I don't want to say societal, the pickleball society.
the pro pickleball society. Yeah, like the 127 people in 2 Discords.
Yes.
But no. I mean, I checked today.
There was a lot of opinions.
But they're a big presence. Yes. It's a big presence.
They are overwhelming. We'll get the shout outs later, and there's an individual there that we need to both apologize for in reference with you. But and Dekel knows what I'm talking about. But yesterday's match, obviously, you take him down in 4, like 11-3, 11-9. You lose a close one, 11-9, and then you end up, sealing the deal at 11-5. You obviously had beat them in March in Austin, which was kind of a hectic and chaotic weekend with rain and playing that on Championship Monday. What went differently? And it was not because Big D was on the bench. What went differently in both approach and like execution? Because I was talking with Dekel, it felt like a strategy win and an execution win. It's like you deliberately wanted to do something differently, and then obviously, easier said than done, you did it. But like, what was kind of, if you can share without giving away too much, maybe you want to give it away all, but what went differently?
I know, I don't want to give away the strat. Coach Dekel sent us a long message too last night. He was like, this is what I thought you guys did. We were like, oh my gosh, this is so helpful. Other than having Dekel on the bench, I think a good start is the most important. That's the first step, I think, to beating a team like that. Like, they're so good. If once they get going and they start feeling confident in themselves, they're more free. So I think us getting ahead and winning the first set with like 11-3 was made them feel a little tighter, and they don't experience often. So I feel like they don't usually also know how to maybe get out of that yet, because they aren't put in a position like that very often. And then we did get behind a little bit in the second set, but I think we felt so loose because we won the first set again. So it was just the reversal of roles, I guess, and feeling loose, and they were maybe feeling a little tighter. I think we were also putting, in this match in particular, a lot of pressure on Catherine, which made Annalie feel probably like she had to do a little bit more. And sometimes she was getting a little impatient, or I don't want to say panicky, but I felt like a little spazzy from her more than like ever before, because maybe it felt like it was out of her control. That's, I feel like, what it felt like.
Yeah, you could see her, like looking at her mom a little bit helpless sometimes, or just like, what should we change? What should we do? And calling a bunch of timeouts like they should, and try to figure out what to do differently. But yeah, I felt like like you were controlling the tempo. Like you and Anna were controlling the tempo of the match, instead of like, usually when Annalie plays, she controls the tempo of the match. So that was the biggest difference. Like she was on her back foot usually, and just kind of reacting to what you were doing instead of the other way around. And, obviously that worked well.
Yeah, it was just role reversal, and I really think what dictates that is the first set with them, or like getting ahead. Whoever's ahead is going to dictate and keep going.
Yeah, she's a very, very good front runner. Like, once she's ahead and winning, and she
she's
plays
a freight train,
better, and just like feels free and goes for everything, and that's when she plays her best. And when you can see that in mix too, when like her and Ben are having a closer match, it's not, even a closer start, the match is a lot more competitive, right? Rather than they start up big and then you just can't catch them at any point. It's just like
when it's breakaway, she feels like she's playing aggressive rec with friends and just doing like things that are like,
totally.
I mean, it's interesting. Did you feel
Gabe to me is a little bit like that too. When he's up, he kind of like rips and goes for every shot, and when it's close, he's it's a little different. I just had this thought in my head, but we can keep going.
That's okay. No, I mean, we haven't really talked about previous losses of yours while we have a guest who won a gold, so we'll
Yeah.
No. And she's
This,
looking great. We talked about this pre-show.
So we can
A blowout.
Maybe we can talk to her more so I can learn a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's her 5th gold, right? Do you count Rachel? 6th?
I thought it was
I actually only know that because someone posted it.
Well, I checked pickleball.com, which is a great site actually, this morning, and they only have it at 5. So, anyways, it's your 6th and 11th overall. Someday Dekel will get there, but
one day.
In the meantime, the third shot drop is back. It seemed that seemed quite different than the receiving end of the freight train that you guys are on in Bristol. Like the third shot drop is back. It's not gone away. Was that a very deliberate kind of choice?
Yeah. In defense of Bristol and indoors, the Bristol court was very fast.
Yeah.
And it was taking off. So I will say that. But Dekel
Interesting.
did not say much. Oh, go ahead.
No, I didn't peg you as a court conditions person. I was going to actually talk about indoor for the few rounds of Atlanta, but it's a good asterisk. I get it.
I've definitely become more aware.
Okay, I'm going to put on my tough question hat. Do you, in that same vein, and I have it on the list, do you apply an asterisk to March Austin win? Because
of why?
Wind. Wasn't it crazy? Wasn't it pretty crazy that Monday? I'm not saying that's why you get.
It's windy for both teams, so
but
I don't know. But
great answer.
I'll see. Okay, but the court is fast for both too.
Right. No, but I thought you were saying that people weren't dropping, or I wasn't dropping.
More drives.
That's why I was driving in Bristol.
Got it.
I'm just aware of okay.
Got it. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's not an asterisk for the loss. It's a reason why the third shot was different. Got it. Okay, sorry.
Loss, no asterisk.
Got it. Got it.
No.
I've awoken the beast.
I own my L's, Ryan. Okay.
Got it.
But yeah, Dekel didn't say much, but he made a point of saying keep dropping during our match. He was like, drop. We were like, okay.
And then was there an explicit focus on ripping from transition less and more of just the more classic drop 5th reset, 7th reset, get into the point to work that cross court stuff, or is that just situational?
I think again, that comes with the role reversal. We were feeling very comfortable. We knew what we wanted to accomplish. And since we were feeling comfortable, we were not panicky, not forcing anything. And we were pretty confident in our kitchen game. So we were let's just get up every time.
Yeah. It's funny because this is an upset by the numbers, although you guys are a valiant number 2 and have really won when they're not present. So it is technically an upset, but we've seen the upsets in this year, especially on the men's side, come from that controlled chaos. This felt different and felt like a refreshingly strategy change, high level execution. You guys both play super clean and super skillful, and there's no asterisk, no luck, no net cord bonanza, no crash and bash. It was just out pickled, in more of the classic pickleball way, which is all hats off to you, which is cool.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, they stayed.
I had to make up for my March weather comment. So
yeah, I thought they stayed very focused and with the same game plan through the whole match and same mindset too. Even after losing the third game and people might be oh, what we should change here, and no, I mean they were still playing good points. Maybe a couple points. The execution wasn't exactly the same, and it's still 11-9 game where it was very high level. So just keep doing the same thing, and that's what they did. So it was great to see no panic and just stay calm. We know what we need to do, and let's do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dekel, you want to describe what you relayed to me on text about watching on the bench? How exciting.
It was very exciting. It was very fun. I don't know exactly what I expected, but it was, just with the fans and just with the level of the match and just it's nerve wracking and it's fun and it's exciting and just more than I thought it would be. It was just amplified. I don't know if it was because it was such a great match and close and and a huge win or what, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you've only been around the game for like 18 months, so you wouldn't have had that experience of watching
Yeah.
pickle on court level. But it was funny to hear you like with some childlike glee be like, "Oh yeah, it was like refreshingly exciting and different."
Yeah,
And
like
I
I
really
watched a
enjoyed it. Yeah,
lot of matches. Exactly, I watched a lot of matches, and it felt different.
yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, now that you've beaten them in such a kind of clean cut way, how do you expect them to potentially respond? Like, what adjustments do you think AL and CP may make in next tournament?
I know they're definitely going to be hungry. Like, that's what any competitor, like, if we
Yeah.
lose, we come back hungry and working hard. And I fully expect them to come out all guns blazing, very focused. Like, I think that's what happened the last time, like when we beat them in March and they finally got to play us again in June or something. They were really, really hungry and like waiting for that. So I think they're going to respond the same way. And I think we just have to, I mean, we play each other so much. I expect it fully to go back and forth.
Yeah.
For the rest of time.
In perpetuity. Boom. That's cool. When is the next
Virginia
PPA?
Beach and
I'll be there.
Weeks.
Cool. Yeah, I get to book my flight.
PPA
Let's
break.
go.
There's a couple MLPs in between.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, how many matches? You guys are in Team DC. You're in one of the best MLP venues in dates this season. We're not lucky enough to be there, but
I had a question. What are you most excited about in New York, just in general about the week?
He's setting me up for failure right
now. Yeah, this is a bait ball alert.
This is really, really important to me. I've been planning this for months. I like stuffed animals, and there's a stuffed animal brand called Jellycat, and they have 3 locations all over the world. One in New York, one in London, and one in France, Paris maybe. And we're gonna go. I'm forcing Dekel and my team to go to the Jellycat Diner in New York City, and it's gonna be fire. I bought a very special outfit for it. I'm very excited.
Wow.
What okay. Outfit?
I bought.
You'll see. Just show.
Oh,
it's a surprise.
I know. This is for the fans. You know.
Oh, got it.
We'll post it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're a fan of semi-viral photo shoots within the small pickleball community, so you guys will pull it off well.
Yeah.
She may or may not had her previous Jellycat bear with a seatbelt on the plane.
Insert picture here.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe that's the first Jellycat on a PJ that's been strapped in. You know, setting records.
I hope so. High class stuffed animals, so I expect maybe not.
I want to go back. I want to keep us on track a little bit for the pickleball nerds. No, a little bit about your story. I mean, I think Sunday was a great win. It's really, hats off to you, and hopefully not the last within this year and even 2025 for sure. But you're talking about you've played for basically a year, which is kind of an unprecedented journey. Largely unknown, not unknown to all, but largely unknown. Squeeze pick you, go MLP champ. Now you're a top 10 woman in women's. You're the number 2 seed. You're a top 10 woman in mixed. Like, can you share a little bit about like what the inflection points are on that journey were for you? Is it like winning is it like playing just well in your first squeeze game that's like, hey, I feel comfortable, I'm on the map, this is where I should be? Or is it like winning the championship, you're like, hey, now I'm putting everybody on notice? Like, what are the kind of exciting points in that last year or so for you? Because there's been so many.
Yeah, I think, getting drafted, I knew I wanted to take pickleball seriously, and it was really difficult because I was trying to pay for my master's. I was coming out of pocket because knowing who I was, like, paying for this career now. And it was very stressful at first, and I got very fortunate. I don't want to say, like, lucky because I worked very hard, but I think I've gotten very fortunate in how things have unraveled for me in this career. Anna picked me to be on Premier in July, and I went home and practiced for like 2 weeks straight, training really hard with my coach back in Tampa. And before I think it was in Utah. I played with Andre, and then we beat Anna and James because I was like, I want to prove my team right in the sense like you took a chance on me, and I didn't want to like just take it for granted. And I knew not many people get a chance like this, so I wasn't going to waste it. I think I was so lucky to have Andre, Zane, and Anna on my team because Andre and Zane are just kind of veterans of the game. Like, Zane, like he's just so great. So I was very fortunate. They all made me feel so comfortable, and I just learned so much from them. And Anna's just an amazing teammate, and I was comfortable with her because I had known her from junior tennis. So I just had a great setup, and I mean, I was just set up to do well, really. And winning made me I could finally call myself a professional pickleball player, I feel like, after we won. So that was a big moment for me. And then kind of just waiting. Like, I feel like, everyone gets partners for the year. So I was, still playing with some people throughout the rest of the year before I got to play with Anna in January. And then, winning our first goal together was a big deal. And then obviously beating Anna and Catherine the first time was a big deal. But those are definitely the high points. But I mean, I'd say the next goal of mine is for us to be ranked 1 someday. But we've done so much. It's just making sure we keep realizing, again, with the pressure thing, like we are so new, and just to continue raising our level and getting better together as we go.
Yeah. What's like the next step? So like you had a huge win now. Like how do you keep that momentum, and how like coming into New York also, but just like after also for the next PPAs?
That's a really hard question. I feel like if like I had the answer to that, or if anyone, so just keeping.
How do you keep the motivation like high to keep wanting to?
For me, you know me. I feel like motivation is not for me. Like I step on a court, and I'm going to be the most competitive person out there, like until the end, whether I'm playing amazing or playing awful. Motivation is not the problem, but just like making sure, I think preventing burnout is the problem for me.
And like no like letdowns, because it's easy to have a letdown after such a big week.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm curious, in the last year, how's your training? Yeah, obviously you get so many reps at the high level by playing in the tournaments. You got rep games before, you got practice, MLP, SEU, and the team. Obviously, you're drilling, you're doing your offsites. Like, there's a lot of deliberate reps and focus within competition. But training wise, whether it's off court fitness or on court touches, like how has that evolved? Have you moved away from hitting like thirds and fifths and back end drives to like, I can freshen up on tournament day, but I really want to focus on my on court sessions with like skillful shots that apply some pressure at the kitchen? Like, how's that changed? Because now you've established your floor is so high. How have you changed that training?
So when I try to balance it out with all the travel. I have a coach in Tampa, but I live in Cincinnati. And my coach in Tampa, when I go back to him, we work on like first step movement, because you lose that in tournament if you're not constantly
Interesting.
training. So I go, honestly, he just murders me every time I step on the court. Like we go from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And it's just kind of grind time. Like it reminds me of tennis days, but it really works because like if I'm moving well using my legs, like those are the first things to start going after a while, just the tournaments. And then when I'm in Cincinnati, I do focus more, like I'm trying to incorporate more Ernie's. I'm focusing more on like pickleball specific shots because I do like everything I have, fortunately, is from tennis. So I'm trying to I'm still molding the pickleball brain, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you and Glasman are obviously a powerful pair, but are kind of, I think, in a similar like archetype of player and background where you're so effective because you have the tennis and the movement and the lively arm and power. But as you soak in a little bit more pickleball, pattern or shots, like it's going to be this crazy 1 + 1 = 3.
For sure.
And I agree totally about the off court stuff. So like that, I feel like, especially coming from tennis, we always, we did a lot of, it's a lot of singles. So you run side to side a lot. And as soon as I stopped playing singles in pickleball, I felt like I was getting slower. And like
Zane, Zane has said the same exact thing. The reason why he plays singles practice, but like 1 every 3 tournaments, is just to stay fresh on the movement, stay explosive.
Yeah, it's that first step in doubles too, like going side to side when somebody goes behind you, or like for Ernie's or whatever it is. So, yeah, like adding that off court stuff just to stay sharp and better your movement. Is huge.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're so stationary sometimes in doubles that it just if you don't practice it off court, then you're obviously not going to get better.
Yeah, well, when you have the three or four big men at the kitchen and it's middle dinks and stuff, it's a little different than kind of like on the toes ripping from a foot back, 7 times in a row.
I have a good question. Why do you have an Oompa Loompa in your bag?
Why do I have an Oompa Loompa in my bag, Dekel?
No, it's a question for you.
That's my answer.
You can't answer the question.
Okay, I reversed him and still got
it. I think that was a bad counter. I think you're stuck with having to address this question.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, co-host.
So, James called me a munchkin, and Dekel forgot the word munchkin, and he said Oompa Loompa.
I thought they said Oompa Loompa.
We did not say Oompa Loompa, and I was so offended, and he was so confused. I'm like, they're short, fat, like orange people. And I was like, not an Oompa Loompa. He said munchkin. And
so we were beefing for a while.
Yeah, we were beefing for a while. It was because I put the car seat up really close, and that's how that conversation even got started.
Got it.
And then Dekel, for my birthday, because this was during the Grand Rapids event, got me a like Funko Pop Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
And it's in my bag ever since. And he says it's magical, and it may be because we had a big win. So we've been doing well ever since the Oompa Loompa has been in the bag.
There you go.
Boom. Okay.
You're welcome.
That's a good
real reason they won.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Just Dekel just playing 3D chess as a teammate and friend to get you fired up about your visual identity there. I want to get to a few more quick questions. I know you guys have a busy day in New York. You got some interesting shopping and errands. Hopefully some team practice going on. But
here's our Jellycat.
I expect a text, Ryan.
Whatever it is.
I mean, I'm looking at Jellycat now. I find it quite cute.
They're really cute. They need to make a pickleball one.
Oh,
they're really cute, and they're not like designer collectible. They're just $20-$30 cute things. I don't mean to put them down. I thought it was going to be more of like this cult supreme like collector thing because there's 3 international stores. Like it's just quality little stuffed animals.
They're inclusive.
Yeah, cool. Socioeconomic toy animals. Let's go. Now I'm gonna check one out. I may buy one for my girlfriend. Shout out to Caroline if she's watching this. Yeah. We can't have Anna being known for like the queen maker of collegiate tennis that's competitive and fiery coming into pickleball by you and Kate. Like, when are you gonna kind of reach into the archives of junior tennis or former SEC competitor and convert someone to the good side?
I don't know. That's a great question. Vivian and I were actually talking yesterday about because not everyone's game translates. Like that is so important to reinforce.
Break it down for us. Like why? What about that?
I don't know. I think there's a misconception because pickleball, it really does partially why I don't play singles because it drives me crazy. It should be easy and it's not. And mentally, singles just, it's something else. And I feel like people come over, like tennis players come over thinking, oh, it's so easy. And I feel like the game style, like if you're a baseliner, like back on the baseline grinder, like that's not going to translate very well. And even some people like who were good at doubles, if their volleys were under like this, I feel like they have more on the women's side probably, because lots of 2Es and we're off the line more, so it's a swing volley. I feel like it's very hard for people to come over, especially grips. I actually played with an Eastern grip during my whole tennis career, so I just put a paddle in my hand, and Eastern worked out perfectly for me in pickleball. So I don't know. It's not as much of a translation for a lot of people at the professional level. Yeah,
no, you go to 4 or 5 in your second week, and then month 1, and then you can be 5-0 with some deliberate, understanding, and in singles you're 5-0 immediately, and it's like you're 5-0 in 2 or 3 months in doubles if you're like somewhat applied and not bringing too much kind of cockiness to it. But yeah, then 5 out of 5 and going through qualies or being a semi-pro and then getting there, it's like it's not a foregone conclusion, unless you're kind of like the guys who are like 6-0 singles within a few months, and then they're like, okay, cool, I can get mixed partners because they think I'm an athletic, ripping guy, and then that's your like fast lane into better. No, but I'm serious. That's like a well-established pattern. But on the women's side, it's like you can be great at singles, but if you can't get into the kitchen or make cross-court dinks or protect yourself with the 2-way slide and mixed, like no guy is gonna just pick you up,
Right.
Which we've talked about a little bit.
Moving out of the way and not getting your feet stepped on, that is a big adjustment.
Huge skill.
Nice. Is your coach in Tampa? It's interesting. We asked Anna if she would have a coach someday soon, and she's like, I've asked some people, and it's top of mind, so she'll probably have one, maybe in 3, 6, 9 months, whatever. You have a coach in Tampa. Is that more of fitness, on-court movement stuff, or is that pattern, pickleball patterns, double strategy?
It was a really cool story. He was actually my junior tennis coach. So he is actually also the one who put a pickleball paddle in my hand, because I went after I graduated into my college in 2019. I coached for him. So I was there in Bardmore in Largo, Florida. So I go back to him. He does on-court stuff. I'll call him after my matches. He'll watch my matches. He's very aware of strategy, what's going on. It is hard, though. And he says he's not there, like, in person. So it is hard to just watch online and know, like, what really is going on. It's very different. So that is, sadly, I wish he could be.
I know you guys got to wrap, but I have that same experience. I was watching the Ranchers in person, and I wanted to gut check something that I'd seen, like, on court, on the bench. But then I had to show someone the stream later, and I was watching the stream, and I was like, wait, this mistake or this pattern that I've seen and felt so viscerally for 8 minutes straight here, and I show him the stream, and I'm like, it just doesn't hit. Like, it's just way different, and it's
totally.
It's like 30% of the feeling, and it's weird because like the angles are pretty good and the quality is good, but it's just different. But anyways, we got a true false section coming up, a little rapid fire, but I know you guys got to go. I was gonna ask, do you have any shout outs, and do you want your first one to be Brooks Jones?
Of course. Shout out Brooks Jones. I mean, he's great. Him and his wife.
He didn't think we were great because I called him an interesting cat. He took that. Maybe there's a cultural divide. Brooks, you're not an interesting cat. You're a great guy. You're a great fan of Anna and Rachel. You're also a player, and you're a great supporter of your wife making the journey into pro. So, anyways.
I don't think he's an interesting cat. I think he's very normal and very, very.
I've never met him. I thought I said interesting cat as like, it's interesting that I would know Brooks Jones over a lot of other people, and as a fan. So, anyways, he's a big fandom. He's kind of like the Matty Pickles of the South, I'd say. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna end on true false. Someday you will play with a popular paddle.
I hope so.
Okay. It's more stressful traveling on a peak holiday than it is playing mixed with James.
False.
You watched more than 2 hours of the U.S. Open.
False.
Wow, you guys never watched. The tennis people turn their backs. No loyalty. Glossman has a stronger overhead than you.
True.
I think she has stronger overhead than everybody.
The lob is still underrated.
True. Underused.
Got it. And you've been on more podcasts than you have PPA medals.
False.
I don't know. You've hit the circuit. I think you've hit the circuit. But she says false. So sub 11. But anyways, you guys have fun. Good luck to DC. Good luck to you guys with your New York shopping adventures. I'll actually see you in a few days. I think the weather's looking good. So, Rachel, congrats on your win.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
I'm going to take it from here. It's a slow morning in New York City for Dekel. He's got to find some caffeine. But we spoke with Rachel yesterday. It's an early morning here on Tuesday. He's in his hotel room. He's struggling, so I'm going to take it from the top, and then we're gonna get into it. Sometimes it's like partners.
Not a
Someone
morning person. Yes.
clearly not a morning where are you going to get your caffeine? Don't tell hotel
I,
lobby.
I don't know. I'm gonna go somewhere, get some food, get some caffeine, and then go some stuffed animal shopping with the team. So
Wow,
the jelly cat.
Jellycat should be a sponsor by the end of this week. I'm excited to see how many Jellycats you end up purchasing. You're going to need to check a bag back from New York.
Probably. Or I'll
Um,
give them all to Rachel, and she'll need to check a couple bags.
yeah. Before we get into our week a little bit, appreciate all the comments on the YouTube vids, whether it's been just complimentary feedback or requests, trying to submit for the giveaways, but really appreciate that. Trying to get to those every few days. And one of the key themes in those comments was we've just had some genuine questions of how do you mentally prepare for tournament play. They're feeling the pressure. How do people kind of navigate that? And it's a tricky question. It's easier said than done, but I don't know if Dekel, you want to share a little bit about how you do it at the pro level, kind of week in, week out, and how amateurs may be able to do that at their local league night rec play.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great question. I think it's like just being mentally in the right state, or just we had questions about how do I stay loose, how do I prepare in general. It's tough. It's not easy. And I mean, if there was a clear cut answer, you would see all the top athletes do the exact same thing, and nobody would struggle with it, right? Because we know the answer exactly. But our mind is not, it's not clear science, or not something that we have all the answers to yet, and everybody's different. So everybody needs to do a little something different to help them, or some people just naturally are very loose, and they don't mind the competition, and some people it's very difficult for them, and they need to learn how to relax while they play, or how to prepare better, like we said. And that preparation is different for everybody, or on court it's different for everybody. So a couple of things for me is just trying to focus on what I'm trying to do on court. So like what my tactics are, um, what what I need to do in this particular match, and just basically just thinking on certain things. Your mind doesn't think on other things. Um, or just trying to be like, hey, this is just one event out of however many. If I'm feeling a little tight, a little pressure, and just knowing there's a lot of weeks that I can do well in, or can play in. So I guess a couple different things. Um, but yeah, it's just like everything. The more we play tournaments, the more we will also feel more comfortable out there. The first the first event of the year is always, you're a little bit nervous.
It's a blur.
Or first event in general that you
Yeah.
play, you're always more nervous. So play more, try it out. In the end, you might, some people will say this is not for me. I'm not, like, I don't want to play tournaments. I'm not enjoying it. But I wouldn't be like, you played 1-2 tournaments and still like we're nervous. That's very natural. It's very natural. It's okay. The more you'll play, usually the more comfortable you'll feel. Like it's like drilling. We want to get better at a certain shot. The more we do it, the more we'll be better at it.
Yeah.
So find little things that, let's say if you're tight before a match or not relaxed, find like maybe music. Music helps me a lot sometimes. Or just taking time out, breathing a little bit, maybe talking to your friends, maybe talking to your partner helps you. So there's not one thing I can just say, hey, this is going to fix your problem, but trying different things, and again, doing it more to see if it gets better.
Yeah. That's helpful. Funny you should ask. If I had to give amateurs
What would
advice,
you say, Ryan?
I think there are three things that
you're
stand out
okay.
in my mind. Yeah. The first is knowing that it's not your job or profession and it's supposed to be fun. It's similar to the morning golf round or at the local tennis club. You're doing it for fun. Obviously, you want to push yourself, but money and a sponsorship isn't on the line. And I think it's important to remember that. And that makes a world of difference. Is you want to compete for yourself and your friend, but it's not something that's going to necessarily affect your Monday to Friday livelihood. I think the second thing is just preparing in a way that like makes you feel like you've left no stone unturned. So that's getting, early to the event, like playing with your partner once before the tournament, or making sure you go through your proper warm up and stretching routine, and you're getting your deliberate touches on a court, however you can, whether that's off facility or not, just to make sure that like, hey, I'm warmed up, I've done everything I can do, and we'll see how the game goes. And then the third, oh man, this one was going to be a good one.
Those first two are great.
The third one, I think, similar to what you said, is like knowing what you want to do. I think for most amateur levels, it's like making the ball over the net and in the court, making the ball and trying to extend the rally. It gets more sophisticated, obviously, at the pro level and how you want to attack and what you want to do. But I think it's just kind of knowing like what you want to do and not going in with kind of you're like a chicken with its head cut off. It's like, hey, I'm going to try to drop and get to the kitchen. If you did that point after point and just try to focus on that, even without figuring out, if we get to the kitchen, what happens? Like if you just focus on getting to the kitchen, probably is like the 80-20 rule, of helping you. So it's tough though. It's tough. The easiest thing would just be like, I have 10 tournaments under my belt.
Yeah. And no, it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to feel that way. Everybody does. Your opponents are also feeling that way. So it's okay. Try to channel it into something positive. Maybe it gives you a little bit more energy or a little bit more focus.
Yeah. And speaking of channeling energy, right now, if you have the energy to leave a comment on this YouTube video, this episode, leave a comment letting us know what your favorite drill is, something that you've come across. Hopefully just don't say skinny singles, but just say why and what it is. And you're going to be entered into the YOLO giveaway for a paddle of your choice. And again, that's a YouTube comment on this video down below about what your favorite drill is and maybe kind of a little bit of the backstory there. And we'll choose one of those for a YOLO paddle. Boo, 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 boo.
Another giveaway. Let's go.
There we go.
So paddle of your choice. Leave the comment with your favorite drill, and like the video and subscribe.
Yeah, actually, Dekel's a better YouTuber. Hey, you're coming to life. The morning session was a little rough. Okay,
by the time we're
I'll bring
done,
a little bit.
I'll be ready for my coffee.
Yeah, it's funny. We have a juicy tidbit guest edition coming after this segment, and it's with Wyatt Stone, and we were rushing to get here at 7:30 a.m. to film that. And Wyatt, I went to the local coffee shop next to the lab, and as I'm going in, Wyatt's walking out with his latte, and it was very surprising given he's not from here. He's 50 minutes away, and
yeah,
it was a weird meeting of the minds. But anyways, we have a good section with the two-handed backhand drop coming with Wyatt. So it's been a fun, busy morning here. But this weekend pickle, let's talk about it a little bit. We'll get to you in New York. But from my side, I'll be in New York tomorrow, commentating on the Grandstand YouTube stream. So some Challenger and Premier matches. Very excited about that. By the way, did you watch any of the post-match Tennis Channel produced pickle thing? Matt Manassi and Cameron.
Oh, the show, the new show?
Live, the studio.
No, I saw like a little clip somewhere, like that they posted after or something. Yeah. But no, I didn't watch it.
Obviously, I think it's pretty good for a V1. I think it's a good step in the right direction, but it was interesting.
The more stuff we have, the better.
Yeah. We have some exciting rec happening today. We've got Naveen Beasley.
Okay.
He's moving to Austin.
Oh, yeah. He told me he's moving to Austin. That's awesome. Yeah. Another good player in Austin.
He's going to be a lab rep, but him and Michael Lloyd and I and Etienne are playing this afternoon.
Nice.
Which is cool. and John and Wyatt are drilling right now, and John brought the small balls. Have you played with
Oh
the small
yeah,
balls yet?
I saw that. No, I haven't hit it with them, but I saw them messing around with it.
I played with them a little bit. John swears by him. He's doing some video and content for them,
Yeah.
but it's very cool to see them warming up with it. It's a fun dynamic where it makes you like simplify the stroke quite a bit because the ball's a little bit more lively and it's small and it makes it feel like a beach ball when you're playing with a regular ball. So, anyways, maybe I'm always wary of the weird tactics and tricks that feel a little bit too good to be true, but this may be like this Hessacore, and I think weighted butt caps are probably legit.
Okay.
Everything else, it's like the golf snake oil salesman, help you this, help you there. And anyways, the other thing I had fun watching, and Wyatt and I have done it a little bit, but basically his favorite drill as of late, if you have a favorite drill, leave it in the comments. But his favorite drill of late is doing kind of cross court dinking, but for trying to hit 3 minutes straight. And so they're pretty aggressive, normal dinks, but you got to hit 3 minutes straight. And so if that's 180-ish seconds, big brain, you're each hitting 90 dinks. But they're from the middle, from the left, maybe little volleys out of the air, and you and your partner need to hit 3 minute mark. And John kind of laughed and was like, we can do this. Ended up taking him 20 minutes and like multiple attempts to do 3 minutes. Like it's a grind on the footwork, on the concentration. So
Yeah.
Have you ever done something like that?
Not really. No.
Wow, that explains a lot. We should try it. No, it's cool. And going to the tournament setting, it kind of emulates a longer rally where like there's pressure on the line. You don't want to let down your partner, and you're not hitting fluff dinks. You actually have to hit a reasonable shot.
Yeah.
That's
good.
The fourth thing that I would say for amateurs is try to play some cash games with your friends, or try to play in a money ball. Try to try to emulate that and simulate that pressure of, my money and my time is on the line here, and I want to show up, and it's not as extended as a tournament, but play for $10. $10 moves the needle on a lot of things. Your drops may get a little tight.
We do it sometimes in practice too, not for like, I guess, the tournament pressure because we have it, but a lot, but more just so
the game
all
style.
all the players are focused and like we're getting the best possible practice. So just putting a few bucks or like, a drink on the line, or, something small for fun, and it makes it a little bit extra motivating, and it's fun.
Yeah. One of the dynamics I think amateurs typically go through, the journey is like, oh, they like rec because it's fun and you're getting better, and then you hit this plateau and you're like, how do I get better?
Yeah.
You got to play with better groups, but another big component is drilling. So like you go from like 90, like 100% to like 80-20, and then maybe 50-50. Like, how important is rec for you? I know we talk, Kwong plays no rec at all.
Yeah.
Drills, is in the lab, is a machine. Ben doesn't play rec with peeps.
Yeah.
Where does that fall for you on hours on court in a week?
I think I'm about 50-50, honestly. And it depends when before the tournament, like how far away am I before the tournament. Then let's say if I have a week, then the first 3-4 days would be a lot more drilling, and then the days closer to the tournament would be more rec. I like the drilling to work on certain things, obviously, and add new tools, but then also it's different doing it in drilling and then implementing it in rec. So then you go from like trying something new or getting something better in drilling, and then doing it in rec, because you have to do it in points also too, because it's hard to suddenly do it in a match in points. Even sometimes I'm adding something, I'm doing it in rec for like weeks, and I'm still struggling to implement it in a match, because it's like, a match, it's like pressure moments. You go to your what is comfortable, and you
default,
don't want to default. Yeah, you don't want to like try something new in a pressure situation. So you have to be very comfortable with that new thing. And also I like just kind of, I feel like I'm feeling the ball, seeing the ball better if I'm doing playing games right before a tournament. Kind of like my movement and just my ball tracking and pattern recognition is just better if I play games before.
Got it. So drill.
Yeah.
Quality rec into the tournament.
Yeah.
Into your first round into the tournament. Got
Exactly.
it.
That's what I found is best for me. Some people just drill or just rec.
Is there an entirely new shot that you have yet to actually work on or implement?
Entirely new shot.
I'm trying to get at, like, how long would it actually take to implement something when you've worked on it in drilling rec, and then you're going to pull it out in a real match in a tournament at the pro level.
The best example right now that I have is the two-handed backhand, right? So
yeah,
when did we start working on it? Like the two-handed backhand dink and some of the attacks with it, but more the dink. I didn't used to ever use the two-handed dink, and then I think, what is it, like 3 months ago or something like that? Did we start working on it? I don't know exactly the timeline, but let's say around 3 months. And some of that time I played on the right side during those 3 months, so I didn't have as much time to try to implement it in matches, or just kind of had like breaks of practicing on it. But now I feel a lot more comfortable in it, and this past week was the most I've used it. I would say the last few weeks I've used it, but this week I really felt comfortable to just like this can be my go-to dink this match if I have I don't know, like in certain situations, or I felt very comfortable with it. This was, let's say, the first time. So, and now I'm excited to see what more I can do with it and how I can get it better and have more options with it as well. So it takes a little while, at least for me. Just it needs to be at a level that it's good, like it's good enough to pull against the best players in the world, right? Like it needs to be good. It needs to be consistent. In my head, I need to trust it. So it's a little transition.
It's always funny to think about what people are actively working on now, but hasn't hit that 2 or 3 months period. So it's like, what's 85% baked for JW or Caitlin Kirschner? What are they gonna start to unveil? It's
for sure. I think early in the year for me it was
J-Dub's forehand flick off the bounce has been building for 2 years.
So sometimes it's slower than others. I feel like earlier in the year I was working on a lot of bounce speed ups, and it just slowly became more and more comfortable. It's not like I was doing them a little bit and now I'm doing them a lot more. Just instead of doing them once or twice a tournament, now you're doing it once or twice a match or a game. So it just...
Okay, here's one other question. You theoretically could have 20 hours of deliberate practice immediately deposited into your body and brain for one skill. What are you dumping that 20 hours, 30 hours into the serve, into transition resets, into the two-handed backhand cross-court dink, two-handed backhand rip?
That is a
speed
great
up?
question. Maybe now with the new serve, I would say I would dump a bunch of it on the new serve because you need some reps there. I would dump a good chunk of it on the two-handed backhand dink because I feel like it can get better and I can get more offensive with it and just more options.
So you would allocate it to 2 or 3 things.
Yeah, 2 or 3 things. Maybe some more things off the forehand speed up. It's one of my, I feel like I have good options there, but I feel like there's still more to learn and unlock there. That's at the moment. I mean, also always getting to the kitchen more is amazing. So so drops midcourt. I would definitely. I don't. There's just so many things. So many things I gotta get better at.
So if Dekel were to take imaginary magic skill enhancement,
I'll put 20 minutes in every single skill. No. I don't have any one particular skill right now. I'd be like, this is what I need or want. So I would say probably most I would put it on the backhand, and then I would kind of move. Put a bunch in like 3, 4, 5 other.
everyone under 4'5" should do should put it in their third shot.
Yes.
Everyone under 5'5"
getting more to the kitchen
should do transition. And then honestly, I think if I put it on the coach hat, if you're 6-0, low pro, in the main draw, I feel like you put that 25 hours in just one attack. Because it's like there's a question, and I think Ben has shared this perspective, but someone asked like, oh, I'm 5'0", 5'5", like what happens if I want to go pro? And he was like, I think the worst advice at this stage of the game where it is like to try to be a generalist and to try to be like solid all the way over, but ultimately not have like kind of one or two real things that can provide pressure and be your thing. And yes, that will get found out in time, but ultimately that's a good problem to have because you're piercing through some teams, you're making them really adjust to that, and it's something you can use in tournament time under pressure, as opposed to like, I make balls, but ultimately are non-threatening, and no one has to really gameplay against me.
Yeah,
so it's funny. That's where you see people that are like one-dimensional, but like as long as your floor is like reasonable enough, but you have like one or two kind of things in and around the kitchen that are pretty fucking good.
It's like
differentiated.
You can say that,
it's like
you could say that about J-Dub. Like it's not like especially like a year or two ago, like he didn't have that many
for sure
attacking options, but the guy doesn't miss and he gets to the kitchen a lot. But his base is very good, and then he has the back and flip, which is elite level. So he kind of builds his game around it, and of course, great hands. But like in terms of like speed ups and stuff like that, it was mostly one option. Now, of course, he's adding more, like he should. But
I feel like Noe Cliff would be a good candidate for like your floor is so solid now. Now it's like, dude, what is that one thing that you're just like living and breathing? And probably similar to Kate, we talked about her trying to get more offensive down the line, challenging the guy, stuff like that.
Played with her 2-3 days ago again, and she's already already better, like already adding some stuff or adding some down the line shots. So it's cool to see. She's really improving fast.
Yeah, people are living, breathing, kind of learning machines, or not, as Anna said. If you're not getting better, you're falling behind. So, anyways, let's wrap your NYC. You guys start playing on Thursday, so you've got some practice today, tomorrow. Are you guys doing that intra-team or against another team? What's the deal?
We're doing it today. It's with our own team. Tomorrow we have a scrimmage as well, and we're trying to find one more men's games for me and James in the afternoon. So yeah, both. Today we're playing.
Get Coach Carlos.
Oh, we could get Coach Carlos. When is Carlos getting here?
I think tonight or tomorrow. You can play some afternoon games. Tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, maybe
tomorrow night, Central Park. James and
maybe.
Dekel.
There you go. That would be fun. That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down.
I would enforce the serve rule, but yeah.
MLP rules. We're back to tossing.
I know. Wild West. You're going shopping today. You're gonna get caffeine. Yes. And you're not an adventurous eater, so I was gonna say like what Manhattan food bites you. For me,
an adventure was going like
dumplings.
10:30 p.m. Going getting some dumplings. So that was fun.
Shout out to
not super adventurous, but no, we're gonna do some fun stuff.
Cool.
Today we have dinner with our team owner. After practice, that's.
I mean, we do need to give a shout out to the guy that you never shout out, which is weird because he's part of the reason you're on the team. But Josh Gartman.
Josh. Josh.
OG.
I'm going to see Josh here very shortly. He's joining us for our Jellycat shopping.
Nice. He's one of the smartest.
He's very excited about it.
He's one of the smartest GMs in pickleball. He watches a lot of tape. He has done his homework for the last 2 or 3 years. He lives the game, and he's the king of red eyes. This
Oh,
guy takes a red eye.
Red eye. He landed at 7 a.m. this morning. So
he takes an LA to New York or LA to MLP destination red eye every single time. So
brutal. I couldn't do it. Red eye for me is the worst. It like ruins a couple days.
I mean, getting up to do this at 8:30.
Yeah, this was tough. No.
Yeah,
this wasn't. It wasn't that early.
No, it was tough, but we got through it. You know, it's like a nerves in a tournament. So, anyways,
right.
Thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for tuning in this week.
Yes.
You may be listening or watching on YouTube. Highly recommend YouTube Premium. Actually, it's the best subscription out there. No ads, downloads. It'll change your life. Actually, it's the thing I recommend most. But more importantly, if you are a podcast commuter, listener, chore doer, we are now uploading these to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So you can tune in if you want Dekel and Ryan in your ears. But thank you again, and we'll catch you on all the channels all the time.
Yes, thanks, guys. And reminder about the giveaway this week. Comment your favorite drill, like and subscribe, and get yourself a Yola paddle of your choice. Thanks everybody. Boom. And love seeing you on the tournaments as well. Thanks for saying hi. Hopefully see some of you in New York.
Okay, it's Juicy Tidbit time, and this is our first guest Juicy Tidbit. We're here with Wyatt Stone.
Let's go.
Trains and plays at the lab quite a bit, but he drove up from New Braunfels this morning, so he's in place of Dekel. Maybe this is a better shot than Dekel?
For sure.
Okay, well, this is the two-handed backhand drop. That's a lot. Say it again.
Two-handed backhand drop.
Two-handed backhand drop. Let's get into it. Wyatt, when do you typically hit this shot? People do it a lot of ways with form, technique, kind of decision-making, but we're going to learn kind of Wyatt Stone's version of that. I really respect his ability to get into the kitchen. This is one of the shots that he uses really well, and we're going to kind of get into it. So typically, when do you hit this?
Typically, I hit this when the other team's stacking and they're switching, so you can kind of catch them maybe mid-court and roll it a little bit more with the two-handed backhand, unlike the one-hander, it's kind of harder to get topspin. With the left hand, you can kind of brush up a little more and get a lot more topspin on the ball.
Got it. And is this on a return that's sitting up or like kind of at your ankles?
Probably sitting up a little more. Yeah. Maybe I hit a big serve and they're unwinding the stack and they're having trouble getting over. I'll kind of try to roll it cross court at their feet and maybe come in and crash behind it or set up a play that way.
Subtle big serve guy energy right there.
Bigger than Dekel's.
Yeah. And so this ball's going to sit up a little bit more, but where are you trying to strike it? Is it at the peak? Is it kind of as it comes to you or falls?
I'm typically hitting it when it's kind of falling a little bit. Like you'll see when the ball bounces, it has a peak of where it is, and then it'll kind of fall a little bit. I'm hitting it kind of right as it's kind of falling. And that really helps generate a lot of topspin on it instead of hitting it when it's coming at you full speed or at its peak. I kind of like to hit it when it's falling a little bit.
Nice.
Other things, I hold.
Yeah, let's walk a little.
Yeah. I like to hold with my left hand. Some people hold it like this with no fingers. Some people hold it to the side, typically to the side. I like to hold it up here. Gets me a little more leverage on the paddle, and I feel like I can kind of brush up with my left hand because the two-handed backhand comes from your left hand from the most part. So I like to hold it kind of more up like this instead of like this.
Nice. Now, one of the things I noticed is you're finishing up by your ear. Can you tell me a little bit about that and why you do that? Just part of the natural follow through?
Natural follow through. I don't know. I never played tennis or anything, so I kind of do my own thing, but yeah.
Nice. It's got a little bit of a drip.
Yeah, a little bit of a drip. It's not like going super high.
It's like the slowest hybrid drive.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And you typically do this cross court, and it's a bonus when they're unwinding.
I'll come in and smack it.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Okay, so when you make a mistake, what typically goes wrong? Are you not getting low enough?
Usually, Usually I'm not lower enough or my paddle face is almost too closed. I'm trying to be closed of my paddle face, but not too close to obviously where I'm going to hit in the net like that.
Yeah.
Trying to just kind of brush up on the ball.
Nice.
Really nicely, just like that. That's a winner. Oh, it hit the net.
Oh, you're just creating so much pressure.
So much pressure.
Too much pressure for the opponents.
Imagine if I had Ryan crashing behind that.
Oh, boom, there we go. Okay, there you have it. That's the two-handed backhand drop / slow hybrid drive.
Yep.
Asterisk from Wyatt Stone. Key points again, the way Wyatt does it, everyone does it a little bit differently. Ben does that big shovel. Some of the ladies have that kind of big windup, but very compact here from Wyatt, which I think is like really advantageous as you get up in higher level play. But he's got the left-hand finger on the back, paddle face is slightly closed as he brushes from low to high in that closed stance, trying to bring that cross court, finishing up by his head, and trying to take that ball slightly past its peak on the return. So I think they summed it up decently.
You did, yeah.
But you're the one that hits it the best. So anyways, juicy tidbit, guest edition. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let Wyatt know if you have any questions, and we'll get it back to him.
Let's go. Oh my God, perfect aim. Look at that shit.